Hey guys, we're back with Chaos Head. Woo! When we last left off, you know, okay, I'll just, kind of say what's happening today. Well, so I was all excited to play Chaos Head. I'm like, woo! Chaos Head! Can't wait to play it! But then maybe a minute ago, I remember where I left off. You know, I hate past me. He leaves me with all these problems. What?
ずっと寝言でつぶやいていましたから。
Taku? Hold on. I'm, one second. There we go. My face became pale. Uh-oh. I made an enormous mistake, letting a regular person hear me talk in my sleep. And of all things, I let Sarah's name slip out. Wanted to crawl into a hole and die.
でも、無遊病の症状は結局出ませんでしたよ。
Woo! Wait, isn't that a bad thing, actually? Hazuki told me as she opened the curtain.
まあ、今日はたまたま症状が出なかっただけかもしれないから、無遊病でないっていう断定はできないですけど。
No, I'm not a sleepwalker. More importantly, I'd asked Dr. Takashina my key question, but I didn't see him anywhere. Izuki handed me a one-sheet document. When I accepted it absentmindedly and skimmed it, it turned out to be formatted as a questionnaire.
それはあなたの心理状態を把握するためのチェックシートです。心理テストのようなものね。
Okay.
それを書いてくれたら今日はもう帰っていいって先生が。
We just check everything. The doctor.
ごめんなさい。ずっと診察が続いてて。来週まで様子を見て、まだ改善が見られないようならもう一度来てくださいって。
I'm at another 3-hour wait. Ah, shucks. Takumi should buy a Nintendo 3DS. Wait, this was 2010, I think? Or 2009? So just a Nintendo DS. Or a PS Vita. The ultimate mobile... Good one! It's not like he's my personal doctor. He must have given Hazuki various instructions about what to do with me. This meant that there had been no meaning in my coming all the way out here to the hospital. I wanted to ask him about my petrifying symptoms, and how I was being manipulated by someone outside myself. That said, with Hazuki looking at me apologetically, I didn't have the bravery to demand, "Take me to Dr. Takashina." Helpless, I ended up filling out the checklist she handed me. I read about the symptoms that were plaguing me on the back of the page, and I'd come to see him again next week.
チェックシートは質問に対してイエスかノーかだけを答える簡単なものですから。
Okay.
当てはまる点があったらイエスにチェックしてくださいね。今後の西條さんの治療に対する参考にしますから、じっくり考えて答えてください。
Hazuki went out of her way to explain it to me thoroughly. Among the items on the sheet were one so strange that didn't seem to belong there in the context of a standard hospital. Something's up here. Like, look, adults in a science adventure game? Please. It really was like a psychological test. Will they actually be able to understand anything based on my answers to questions like this? Hazuki watched me unwaveringly. She didn't move to leave. I didn't feel like she had too much time to spare. More like she was observing me. No, watching over me. My nervousness at being watched made it hard for me to think. Was this also part of her job as a nurse? For the time being, I decided to hurry up and get it over with. Oh, we actually have to answer this? I remember, I was told by a commenter that you have like 10 questions. I think it was 10, right? And like, what chapter was it? It was far into the game. I wonder if it's like this. For email when using the phone. Yes. Your ears occasionally start ringing. Do they? I don't think that's happened to him. Send someone's gaze and then turned. Oh. Wait, lie to them. Lie to them. Should I lie or should I tell the truth? And. Well, hold on. I'll just tell the truth. I've seen inanimate objects briefly appear to be moving. Tell no one. You've experienced premonitions. Don't tell them about that. At times, when you look at a digital clock, all the numbers are the same. You've cried at least once in the past month. Has Takumi cried? I can't think of a time. You've reached orgasm solely through the strength of your imagination. Lewd. I mean, I can imagine him doing that, actually. Yes or no? You see, I don't know enough about Takumi to say, but I imagine. Yeah, probably. You can picture things even without closing. Yep. Windshield. I don't have a car. Can't handle being haunted. When you read books, you become so immersed you lose track of time. I mean, I imagine that happens to me sometimes. I don't think I've read a book since they were in The Count of Monte Cristo. Good book, by the way. Recommended. I believe there are planets aside from Earth that play host. Well, yeah, probably. I mean, there's a lot of planets out there. The personality, blood. Nope. Usually get motion sickness in vehicles. Well, I mean, you could actually say that's true because aren't blood types just like, I assume it's similar to astrology and it's just like vague answers to questions that, you know, just fit everyone. But, you know, believe in the existence of God. Hey, Takumi, do you believe in God? You're good at sensing ghosts. While sleeping, you sometimes dream in full color. Is that not normal? While sleeping, there have been times when you knew you were in a dream. You've experienced the loss of parts of your memories. You just like to look. Okay, look. Looking at a dried plum is enough to make your mouth full of saliva. You have the feeling that yawns are contagious. Nah.
はい、お疲れ様でした。
I hadn't said anything. Hazuki spoke to me exactly at the same time I finished writing the last statement. I was mortified that she'd watched me the whole time. Maybe my face had started turning red, which was why I meekly returned the checklist without looking in Hazuki's direction. I didn't have enough time to write down my symptoms on the back of the page.
それでは、待合室でお待ちください。お薬が出てますから。
Medicine? I was getting medicine? Dr. Takashina hadn't said a single word to that effect, but...
ええ、先生の指示で。弱い精神安定剤です。ぐっすり眠れるようになるし、副作用などもありませんよ。
Don't trust it. I see. I like him. How considerate. But I became depressed at the prospect of having one in the lobby again. It was the evening by the time I returned to Shibuya. Oh, was this out of, like, the city? What? Wait, Shibuya is the district? I don't know. The hospital was technically part of Shibuya, but station-wise, Yoyagi was closer. Okay, so taking the train was the fastest way to get there. The Yamanote line was packed as always. Oh yeah, that line was mentioned in Steins Gate. I remember the name. I think that was the one that, you know... Holwood Curlba was like, hey, you're running from evil people, let's go. And then, you know, accidentally, you know... Just in the event that someone here hasn't reached Steins Gate, I'll, you know, stop it there. Though I had to ride only past 2 stations, this round trip alone wore me out a lot. It'd be agonizing to take the train any further, so I got off the Shibuya station and walked back to my base. For all that, there were too many people in front of the station. I hate huge crowds. They make my head spin. Not wanting to stay any longer than I had to, I tried to cross the pedestrian scramble, but it took a big effort just to walk in a straight line here. If I swayed even a tiny bit, I'd bump into the people past me and overtake me. Plus, people handing out free tissues kept getting in the way, forcing pocket-sized tissue packs at me. Sick and tired of it, I ignored the first guy. The second one turned out to be a rather cute lady, so I don't care. Those tissue distributors are a serious hassle. Why are they handing out tissues? Like, are they just regular tissues? Don't stand smack in the middle of the street like that. Well, but I go ahead and take them, since they're free. The tissue pack I'd taken had come with a flyer. Oh, okay. Which consisted solely of white letters on a background of red paper. It was pretty freaky looking. You don't see this kind of color usage all that often. Hold on, I need to take a drink. Read it nonchalantly as I walked. Supplies of type B blood inadequate. The demand of transfusions far exceed Shibuya's supply of type B blood. At this rate, it will be terribly difficult to provide adequate amounts of blood to those who need it. In the worst case scenario, some may die. Okay, so that was a blood donation flyer. Reading it, I recalled the checklist I filled out at the hospital earlier. Couldn't remember filling out something like that 4 years ago. Maybe their diagnostic methods changed recently. Dude, it's the committee. Come on now. How do you not know about the committee? You're insane. Come on now. Yet for some reason, the checklist seemed familiar. Jemai's food. All I had felt lately was Jemai's food. I hope I'm saying that right. It made me sick. The fact that my own mind and body wouldn't act the way I wanted them to. Dug through my memory in hopes of somehow being able to pin down the source of this Jemai's food. The days when my mother took me to the hospital every week. I kept my mouth shut at all times and indicated where my will lay solely by nodding or shaking my head. So, oh yeah, there is one thing that I was a bit curious about. The precognitive powers, are those like real, or is that like a setup? Because so far in the Science Adventure series, I don't think anything that I'd describe as supernatural has happened. Like Steins Gate, reading Steiner, you know, that was just, well, I don't want to really, it's kind of set in Steins Gate 0, or the end of Steins Gate rather, so, you know, I won't say that. Robotic Notes, there was that like disease that they had that they can like slow time with, but I don't really call that supernatural. It was borderline supernatural, but let's get on with it. I kept my mouth shut all the time and indicated where my will lay solely by nodding or shaking my head. At first they hadn't looked at me in a regular examining room, but when I showed no signs of getting better, they eventually started taking me to another room. It was what you'd call a counseling room, with a sofa and lots of stuffed animals lying around, spaced with one goal, to make the patient relax. Without blaming anyone, Dr. Takashina persevered in trying to treat me. He was the only one who noticed that it wasn't that I couldn't speak, it was something that I chose not to. My mother talked to me about all kinds of things in a falsely bright voice. Dr. Takashina always greeted me with a refreshing smile. The nurses were nice to me, too, and I had the feeling that there had always been one more person in the room. This guy! I know it! Right, he wore a solid black suit, which was very odd since we were in a hospital. He was always silent, like me. I never so much as heard his voice. At the end, I couldn't find out anything about him. His behavior wasn't like those hospitals. The physicians and atmosphere around him were also different, and he always stood out aside by himself, gazing out the window. I'd eternally called him NOZOMI-san, not because he said it was his name. NOZOMI. The suit-clad man always wore a small badge on his chest. The word NOZOMI was inscribed there, but since it had the design of a logo, it couldn't have been his name tag. Right, NOZOMI was also printed on the checklist I filled out earlier. Oh, was that at the top right? I felt like I'd seen it somewhere before. Now I finally remembered. At least I felt a little refreshed. We told them everything! Oh no! We just leaked our plans to the committee, I knew it. Let's said, what was this Nozomi? Nozomi. Well, it's one of those, probably. The only certainty was that it must be the name of a corporation. Could be a counter-terrorist organization founded by a gorgeous company president, a lady named Nozomi-san. Just like a manga. I don't think it's that. Ooh, we're home. Delude. When I got back to my base, I immediately ran an online search for Nozomi, but a ton of results came up, and I had nowhere to narrow them down to one. While thinking about it normally, Nozomi-san could be the employee who had made the aforementioned checklist, or maybe a salesman who came to the hospital with his wares, that kind of thing. And lately, they finally started to make use of his stuff, including the sheet they had me fill out today. Man, the chances of that were pretty darn slim. Never heard of them letting an outsider like that sit on a patient session. In the end, who or what had Nozomi been? Got fed up once again at the emergence of these nagging memories. Whatever the case, I had identified the source of my Jemai's flu. I decided, next week, I'd consult with Dr. Takashina about my memory issue. After seeing him, I shut myself up again and stopped going to school. Well, gotta call it there. I'll probably do like 5 more minutes later on. Or like 10 more minutes. See you guys next time. Bye. Hey guys, we're back with Chaos Head. Woo! Yeah, sorry about that. Spent maybe an hour. No, probably a bit longer than an hour, but you know. Okay, so what was going on? He got back to his house and like the committee, you're right, Nozumi. Stop running. Oops. I hit the pop filter and whoops. Stop running searches about Nozumi. Again, browsing interesting looking threads on channel. The news board consisted almost entirely of new generated stuff. Group diving, pregnant man, staking, to be continued. Okay, so the staking actually happened. Completely lost my patience even when the ESO... Is there audio coming out? Oh, okay, my volume was just really low. Okay, there we go. Completely lost my patience when even the ESO board turned out to be threads like, let's try reenacting the new gen murders on ESO. That's, something. Grim was there when I went to Wallow on ESO. And channel's news board has gotten pretty boring lately. All anyone ever talks about is the new gen stuff. Yeah, because it's the biggest thing going on right now. That's what Grim says. I'm not doing that. Epic threads springing up all over the place every time there's a new incident. They haven't caught the perp yet? Come on, the police are powerless. Some of these idiots online are portraying the purpose of Moe by Sojo. Lol. That demon girl. I flinched as the dim eyes of the girl I spotted at the scene of the staking murder grazed my brain. I didn't want to keep remembering it like this, but the second I let my guard down, the ominous memory started to flooding back. Yeah, I've seen the criminal's face. I knew who she was. Should I have reported her to the police? But I didn't want to get caught up in it. Demon girl? Finally a version like this came up? But hey, that's some pretty poor taste. Anyway, I'm telling you, the new gen cases are really interesting. I joined a new gen com for part. What? That's an overboard. That's overboard. You and Silverfish, sis, are the only ones in the guild who have a join, man. Seriously? That meant I want to be able to jump in on the conversation when we are all chatting. New gen is the earn of the mill. Gives me chills. I knew you were into Goro stuff. I don't even... I have like half of this. Like, what's a 4-year-old Pora? I'm not saying that right. To be fair, I'd mistaken their staked up body for an object to art. So if I were forced to put it one way or another, then yeah, it was quite artistic. It was quite artistic. Okay. There wasn't a limit there, but... Nah, I look for the really twisted stuff instead. The ultimate SM type stuff. You're hopeless. You should hurry up and fix yourself up, or... Night Heart 10, pop your cherry and you'll come to understand it too. You... very mean-hearted, but still respectable individual. See, I think these jokes are pretty funny. I like them. What kind of face is that? What? How do you even do that? You traitor. Or is... Setting that aside, the new gen wiki is seriously packed with stuff, so give it a look, dude. I don't want to see it, because it's scary. Wanted to escape from reality where I witnessed the scene of the crime. With that one goal in mind, I started to block out every piece of new gen related news. By doing so, I hoped to convince myself that the gruesome spectacle I'd seen had been an illusion. But in ESO, I was on the same level as a god. It wasn't merely enough to be strong. I also had to know about anything and everything. All the more, that's the closest to position a leader of our guild had to a leader. As the person in charge of everyone's organization, it'd be way too humiliating if I couldn't keep up with their conversations. I had to avoid that. I headed over to the wiki Grim had told me about. The title New Gen Wiki was displayed in huge letters on the front page. Compilation sites like this are an example of a type of wiki where an indeterminate number of people post news and information about a specified topic. Glossary. That wiki's translated, but I know what a wiki is. New Gen Wiki like this was bound to be fairly fast-moving, with all kinds of people posting stuff related to the New Gen cases. Unreliable information and blaming were mixed in, although it was convenient because it was much easier to understand the whole picture. There were a lot of links pasted in too. Started reading one called A Timeline Up to the Present. My heart started beating faster. I was nervous. even though all I was doing was reading her website. Palms of my hand were soaked in sweat. The first incident, commonly known as the group diving, 5 high school students committed suicide together. September 7th, approximately a month ago, in the middle of the night, at Shibuya's Cornelius Tower, they leapt from the heliport on top of the building and died instantaneously. Autopsies revealed that each one of them had scratch marks and foreign bits of flesh under their fingernails. It was then theorized that they had been holding each other's hands when they jumped off. There's nothing resembling a will or a suicide note left behind on the roof. By going to Cornelius Tower in person, an online personality, known as Snake, discovered that only employees were given access to the rooftop. The door leading up there was practically always bolted shut. Naturally, it was also locked at the time of the incident. The key to the roof wasn't among any of the 5 victims' belongings. You know, I was just thinking, if anyone, who wasn't an employee there, could have done this? I assume this is in, the same area that Takumi's dad owns. Couldn't Takumi have theoretically gotten access to the roof? Because I forget, did his dad only, own the building, or, did he own, a lot of area around? I forget, but I'm just saying, assuming Cornelius Tower is relatively close by, it's not that big of a, a jump. But I don't think Takumi is the one behind this. I mean, it's got to be someone related to the committee, right? Because it's science adventure. In short, circumstances suggest that the rooftop heliport had been sealed to entry and it remained completely unclear as to how 5 students had gotten in. There was a high possibility that someone, aside from those 5, was present at the time of the incident. The second incident, commonly known as the pregnant man, occurred on September 19th, 12 days after the first incident. Early in the morning, a college student was going home after karaoke, sighted a blood-drenched male corpse in the area near the underside of the Shibuya Station overpass. The man, Kanoe Chizuo, 21, was a student of Shibuya Area College. Though he had already died by the time his body was discovered, his abdomen was completely unnaturally swollen. Had become unnaturally swollen. According to the autopsy, someone had cut open his abdomen, shoved a newborn fetus into his stomach, and sewn him back together. A DNA analysis established the fact that the victim and the fetus were not blood relatives. The victim was unmarried and had not been carrying on any relationships with women. Online speculators believe that, as the fetus had been removed approximately 32 weeks old, it must have been removed from its mother's body via C-section. But no one knew who the mother was, where she could be found, or what she was doing at present, or even whether she was alive or dead. Perhaps the police had tracked down her whereabouts, but at the very least, they hadn't announced it to the public. Ooh, yeah! I don't know. Hey, Takumi, how do you say that? Duh. That's not... There's no D or, on the verge of vomiting, I turned my eyes away from the monitor. How revolting. The perpetrator had to be insane. And on top of all that, thinking that this vicious murder might have been committed by that girl. Japan is over! Emoticon holding up arms. Should I call it there, or... Now let's keep going. I stared at Sarah Tan to help my eyes recover. Somehow I managed to stabilize my mental state. I thought about taking the medicine Dr. Takashina had given me, but it looked like I could still succeed in getting away by with just Sarah. But it was tough to read about this girl, even for the sake of preserving my reputation as Nightheart.
そんなに辛いならさ、読まなくていいって。タッキーがド M ってんなら別に止めないけど。
So I'm wondering, is this Sarah, is it evil? Is it delusion by the committee? I don't really know how the committee's related to this, but I assume they have some way to cause people to have delusions, particularly Takumi, or maybe not Takumi, maybe anyone else. We saw with Yua. Could that be mind control, or is she just working for them? Not really sure on that one. Or maybe she's not even working for them and is, an independent party.
辛そうなタッキーは見てられないさ。もうやめよう。楽しいことだけしてようよ。いつもみたく私にハーハーしてもいいからさ。
Lewd. Sarah was so kind to me. Sarah was the only one who would stay as my ally, as expected, since she was my wife. I rested my chin in my hand and took deep breaths as I gazed at Sarah's smile. I could feel her healing me. If I kept an eye on Sarah as I read, maybe I'd be able to hold out a little longer. I decided to put this into practice without delay. To begin with, I had 2 cases without any common features whatsoever, and collectively labeled New Gen, treated like the same thing. The group diving had initially been treated solely as if the victims had committed suicide. After the pregnant man incident, however, people online reinvestigated the group diving once they discovered the unnatural circumstances surrounding it. The rumor, maybe they were killed in such a way as to make it look like a suicide, began to spread around as a new explanation. Parents and close friends of the 5 who died in the group diving kept saying that there's no way they would ever have committed suicide. At that point, the mass media seized on the fact that both cases that occurred in Shibuya began using New Generation Madness in their sensationalistic headlines, which are said to be how it all got started. And then, the 3rd incident, the one I witnessed, commonly known as the staking. Since a few days had passed since the case opened, the wiki site didn't contain a lot of information on it yet. All that had been made public was that the victim was Ota Hisashi, a 56-year-old college professor, and that the murderer had used stakes to pin his corpse to the concrete wall of an abandoned house. The 5 were high school students, right? Because the second one was a college student, and this one's a college professor. At the very least, they're all related to school. Well, I guess that's pretty much too broad, because high school and, college, those are... At the very least, there's no big correlation right now. The murderer had used stakes to pin his corpse to the concrete wall of an abandoned house. Residents of the neighborhood where the crime took place reported hearing a sound of someone hammering, starting around 8 p.m., time when the murder was estimated to have been committed, lasting for over an hour. I had heard it as well. It clung to my ears, a nasty sound. On a side note, no connection between it and the group diving, or the pregnant man, had been uncovered yet. However, since it was the 3rd bizarre incident to happen in the very same Shibuya, people naturally started treating the staking murder case as part of the New Gen phenomenon. Places in media viewed the 3 cases as having been the work of different people, but according to online commentary, or more properly, online expectations, them having been committed by the same criminal or by the same group of people was the most popular explanation. Seemed like lots of places online also gave it occult explanations, simply that everything stemmed back to the earthquake 2 months ago. 2 months ago, a magnitude 3.0 earthquake had occurred, with Shibuya at its center. 8 people died, despite the fact that it had been a relatively small-scale event. As a result, it became a big topic of conversation. Now that they mention it, the New Gen cases that had indeed begun after that earthquake. Thus, the people who supported an occult explanation from New Gen argued that the 8 deaths from the earthquake should be counted as the first New Gen incident, which led to fierce debates between them and the people who supported the most popular explanation, the same criminal theory. In any case, the truly abnormal part of it was that, though 3 brutal crimes had occurred in succession, no clues as to the perpetrator's identity had been discovered in any of them. Either way, net crowds are lusting a 4th incident. If I hadn't been involved, I would have certainly joined the festival, and maybe I would have been waiting with bated breath for a 4th case. Dang it. Those bad individuals sure have it easy. Hurry up and catch the criminal, please. Over a week had passed since the staking, when neither that demon, girl, nor the police had showed any sense of movement. Very aware that I'd been in the area, surely the police would have at least come to question me, but at the moment, they didn't seem to be doing anything about it. Thank goodness. Looks like I'm not going to get dragged into it. The words you had thrust at me passed through my head. I'm looking for like a stopping point, but he's not giving me one. I've been feeling reassured, but 1 second was all it took to send me right back into my gloom. The image Shogun had transmitted to me, even now, lingered inside my PC as data. Did he ever check the chat logs? I forget. What you had told me was that was just a product of her own delusions. It was too incoherent to hold together logically. I hadn't gotten to ask about it at the hospital today, but it didn't make any sense for me to be acting differently, unbeknownst to myself, during the gaps in my memory. It never happened before, not even once. And I mean, the fact that they used that computer at the cafe place, that doesn't necessarily mean it was Takumi who did it, right? I mean, I don't really know about internet cafes, but, like, you know, anyone can use that computer as long as they, you know, pay to use it for a couple hours, right? Oh, wait, there's timestamps, right? Well, it's too far-fetched to say that they could be altered. Unless, well, she could alter them when she printed them out, but, like, you know, on the actual thing. But anyway, which was why that royal pig totally had to be composite. Composite.
合成だって証拠を見つけちゃえばいいさ。あの画像解析しちゃおうよ。
That's a brilliant idea. But it made me sick, so I don't want to look at it very much.
あの女を論破しちゃえば、タッキーはもう怯えることなく平穏な生活に戻れるんだよ。やるしかないっしょ。
Okay. True enough, it's just as you say. You talked about it like it was I was the perpetrator of the staking. That was out of the question. Because I myself had seen the perp's face. Like I'd let you forescope for the crime on me. I sucked in a sharp breath and double-clicked the folder where the image should have been cached. There we go. That's where we call it. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll be back next time with Chaos Head, where... Oh, we're at a police department. Okay, I think they might have shown the scene in the anime then, if I remember correctly. I mean, it's been like, what, 2, maybe even 3 years? Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.